Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterboxer. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Really appreciate it. Of course, guys, thank you so much. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. All that sweet stuff. That'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. If you could do that for me, let's get into the news about Manchester United, of course, guys. Now, look, I'm going to bring you some more transfer news. Of course, guys. Of course I am. But firstly, I'm going to start off with Carlos Baleba. Now, I've been hearing lots of various riddles, various analogies, excuses for Carlos Baleba. These excuses have become ridiculous now. They're getting a little bit stupid now. Like, I know that a lot of people are big fans of Carlos Baleba. I know there's many people who like Carlos Baleba and they want Carlos Baleba to sign for Man United. But the reality is, if Carlos Baleba doesn't pick up his performances, he's not going to get his move to Manchester United. And that is the reality at the end of the day. Now, there are people saying that Carlos Baleba is purposely down-tooling so that the valuation from Brighton gets lowered. Now, I've never heard so much insanity in my life. It's absolutely incredible. So basically, Carlos Baleba, in a mark of genius, guys, a Man United genius, that he's gonna down tool, play badly for Brighton so that the valuation goes down. I mean, come on, guys. How ridiculous does that sound? Think about what you're saying when we're talking about Manchester United here. Any player that has the audacity to down tool for their club, isn't the player that really Man United want, is it? It's not the player that Man United want. Any player that has the audacity to down tool purposely for their football club, I don't think it's down tooling. I'm not saying he's down tooling. I don't think it's down tooling. I think it's actually his head's been turned and mentally it's affected him. That's it. Nothing complicated about it. It's just his head has been turned and his mentality is weak that he cannot carry on with his game and keep up the performances. This is a fact for me. It's nothing to do with, he wants to lower his price so that, we can get him for cheaper. What? Understand what you're saying here, guys. We're an intelligent community here. We're an intelligent community. We don't speak silliness at the end of the day. But this is what I'm hearing, and I'm like, no, mate, no. Man United are not doing that because at the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference, guys. It really isn't. In fact, it can have the adverse effect. Because at the end of the day, So this is not happening. This thing where, he's going to be down tooling so that we get a good price for him. It's ridiculous. The other theory is that Kobbie Mainoo is going to go on loan to Brighton and Carlos Baleba is going to come to Manchester United with a fee. Now, look, I don't believe for a second that Kobbie Mainoo would want to go to Brighton Hove Albion. Kobbie Mainoo has ambitions to go to the World Cup. If he goes to Brighton, he's not going to get into the World Cup squad. I bet your bottom dollar. Kobbie Mainoo has already set his heart on going to Napoli. And he wants to go to Napoli. That's where he wants to go. He doesn't want to go to Brighton. He's better than Brighton. I know it sounds a little bit arrogant, but he's better than Brighton. So we're hearing analogies left, right, and center here that just don't make any sense. Of course, like the Mainoo one is a little bit more believable, but the one where Baleba is down tooling so that we can get a better price. I mean, goodness me. I mean, absolute geniuses if that works, isn't it? My goodness me. Flipping heck. When you down tool, let me tell you something about down tooling. It's not as a professional sports athlete. Right? When you're a professional sports athlete, when you down tool, when you underperform, it's very hard to get back up, You can't just switch it off like a light switch. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You either play well or you don't play well. Your colleagues and your teammates will know if you're down tooling on the pitch. They will know that. And this is the thing about it. If you know about elite sport, elite top-level sport, this is what happens in elite top-level sport, guys. Absolutely. But two things in regards to Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba going on loan to Brighton. Manchester United getting Kobbie Mainoo, should I say, going on loan to Brighton, and Carlos Baleba coming to Manchester United. Guys, It's good if you can get it, isn't it? At the end of the day. Could Man United loan Kobbie Mainoo to Brighton? I just think that Kobbie Mainoo is looking at Napoli. Kobbie Mainoo has set his heart on going to Napoli. And I do believe that if he went to Napoli, he would increase his chances of playing in the World Cup. If he went to Brighton, he's not going to increase his chances of going to the World Cup. Of course, guys, let me know what you think, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is blessed, of course. Big up, Stephanie. How you doing, Steph? Hope you're doing well. Back in the house, of course, guys. Big up, cool, Steph. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Kenny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Big up, Wesley. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you guys. Good to see you back in the house. Head's gone. Big up. Absolutely. Big up, Stephanie. His head's gone 100%. That is exactly what it is. His head's gone. He's finding it hard to pick himself up again. You know what I would say about elite level Premier League football? Let me tell you something about that, right? We deal with fine margins in the Premier League. It is fine margins here. You're dealing with a little bit here, a little bit there. What's the difference between 13th place and a 9th place and 9th place to 7th place? What's the difference? It's this. It's this. And if you switch off for a second, it's going to be very, very difficult to get that back. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So I heard about a swap deal with Mainoo. Yeah, I just mentioned it. Big up, my friend. Fabrication time, Stephanie. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you think that it's a good idea? I would rather swap Mainoo for a Napoli player because he wants Napoli move. Now, there was some rumors going around that we could swap Mainoo with Lebovka. Now, Dubravka is a central midfielder who currently plays for Napoli. The thing with Dubravka is that he is a 30-year-old and he's a CDM, a very, very good player, very versatile, very good player. However, that is way out there. In regards to news, Man United do need cover in that position. If we do let Mainoo go, we're going to need cover in those positions. Absolutely, we're going to need cover. So getting, Mainoo at the football club, him going on loan, we're going to have a replacement for him. And if it's Lebrovka, so be it. He's a good player. He's an experienced player and he can fill in the void, at least temporarily, of course. I would like a lot of players from Napoli. Of course I would. But obviously Napoli are going to do a deal which is going to benefit themselves, of course. So look, what I truly want, I want Mainoo to go to Napoli. I want him to go to Napoli and I want him to absolutely smash it. I want him to absolutely kill it. Come back to Man United and he's already a great, great player. And you never know, Bruno might have left. You never know. I don't think he's going to leave Bruno myself. I actually think Bruno's going to stay forever. I think Bruno's going to stay at Man United for the end of time until he retires, of course. So I don't believe he's going to leave. But, you never know what happens in football, of course. Hello, Jaff. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Of course. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Very well. Very good to see you. My family's well. Hope yours is too, my friend. Thank you for asking. Defending a better, we would have been 2 points behind Arsenal, but we still are contenders for the top four. Maybe just a challenge for the title. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Jaff, you never know what's going to happen in football. It's difficult. It's going to be difficult. But if we win the next 5 games, and they're very, very winnable games, guys, I know it's hard to say in the Premier League that games are winnable. We have slipped points out of stupid games over the last few years. But I actually look at those games and I think, yeah, Man United have got a chance here to move up that league. Do you know what I mean? It's not only about mistakes defensively. It's also decisions that have gone against us. I think you look at the Arsenal game at Old Trafford. You look at that foul on Bayinde. It was a foul at the end of the day on Bayinde. And the mistakes that we've made. Not only mistakes, we made a mistake against Man City. Bruno made a mistake against Man City, and it sort of set the tone for the game. The missed penalty against Fulham set the tone for the game. We ended up drawing that game. We could have won that game comfortably. So we would have had a few more points and we would be up there challenging right now. We really would. So, you know what? We're not that far away. That's the one thing I would say is that we're not that far away. It's not as bad as people think. Do you know what I mean? We are getting to where we want to be. We really are. And it just takes a little bit of perseverance. It takes a little bit of patience. And we will end up being, of course, back to the top, of course. Big up, Nikki. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing. Big up, Shakti. What's going on? I think we'll get Baleba because it's an easier deal to do. Let's hope we can get Anderson or some other comparable midfielders. I hope so, Shakti. The one thing about Baleba, of course, is the easier deal. Of course, it is an easier deal. But this is what's happening at the moment. And let me clarify what's happening at the moment. Okay. Manchester United met up with the representatives of Carlos Baleba at the end of October. Everything was good. Everything was agreed. Carlos Baleba wants to come to Manchester United. A deal has been agreed in principle between the player and the agents, etc. Now, Manchester United are going to leave it now until December. So at the end of December, Man United are going to come up with an idea. Basically, they're going to analyze everything and come to a conclusion what they're going to do with Carlos Baleba. Okay, so if he's been playing badly, continues to play badly, Manchester United will not do the deal until maybe the summer. But again, that will be analysed over the course of the season. And at the end of the season, they will revisit the Baleba deal and they will analyse whether he's been playing good or he's been very average or he's been poor. Man United will not, I guarantee, will not spend money on Carlos Baleba if he doesn't pick up his performances. This is why I know that this down-tooling malarkey, where he's down-tooling on purpose to lower the fee, is a myth. Okay, so at the end of the day, Man United are waiting for Carlos Baleba to increase his performances. His valuation is still going to be in the region of 50 to 70 million, in between that. So Man United are waiting on that. And if he performs well, if he picks up his performances and everything starts going well after he comes up from the African nations, Man United may do a deal for Carlos Baleba, which will be preferable, of course, because he does want to come to Man United. And we have got the groundwork done in regards to signing Carlos Baleba. So that is what's going on at the moment. It is up to Carlos Baleba. It is up to Carlos Baleba if he picks up his performances. That is what it's all about at the end of the day. If he doesn't pick up his performances, there are plenty, and I repeat, plenty of midfielders out there, very talented midfielders, who would love to come to Manchester United, namely Anderson, namely Adam Wharton as well, namely Angelo Stiller, who I think is a better player than Carlos Baleba. I believe that Angelo Stiller is a better player than Carlos Baleba. And he would love to come to Manchester United also. So we have to remember that, of course, guys. Absolutely. Christian, if Mainoo goes to Brighton, they will get into Europe. It will be nice to see how Baleba plays together. I don't think he's going to go to Brighton. No, never let Mainoo join Premier League clubs. Yeah, because absolutely, Irene, because it can actually affect us. I don't think Man United will want to do that. Absolutely, because it can have an adverse effect on us as well. Big up, my friend. How you doing, Phil? Good to see you again. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Wesley, Sal, would you take Baleba or Neves? Ruben Neves or Baleba? I think Baleba because his ceiling is higher. That's the only reason I would take Baleba out of Neves and Baleba. If it was between Baleba and Stiller, however, I would take Stiller instead of Baleba. That's my opinion. I would have Anderson and Stiller in midfield. I think that would be the most best balanced midfield that we can possibly do. I really do. I'm looking at Baleba and I'm not getting all mushy and emotional about it. I'm looking at things objectively. I'm looking at the feeling that he's not playing well. And his head is turned. So basically, if he comes to Man United and everything goes well, he plays very well. After a couple of years, Real Madrid come calling, his head is going to be turned. So we got to look at that, and we have to look at things maturely, guys. We're adults here at the end of the day, and we have to look at things a little bit maturely and look at things objectively, of course. Even if he is a favourite, he's a favourite of mine as well. So we have to look at that very, very smartly, of course, guys. Wesley. I would love Licha back for the Everton game. Let's hope he gets fit. He's been obviously training with the Argentina national team. Everything seems good, guys. The thing with Licha Martinez, the biggest stumbling block with Licha Martinez is the fact that Licha Martinez, his injuries ain't so much hamstring injuries or calf injuries and things like that. He collides and he puts his body on the line. That's what Licha Martinez does. He puts his body on the line and basically risks himself getting injured. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, hopefully he comes back and hopefully he doesn't put his body on the line. If it happens again, though, Wesley, we're going to have to question what we're going to do next. Do you know what I mean with him? Jaffa, Amram doesn't care about the players. He wants to succeed and give a shit about players, and he just focus on himself and the club, which I like. It's high time a manager has done this. Absolutely. Big up, Jaffa. Hope you're well. Of course. Phil. Sal, I've been hearing a lot about Gomez in January. Is there any truth in it? Yes, Phil, there is truth in it. There is truth in Gomez. Of course, there's truth in Conor Gallagher as well. Of course, there are rumours that Conor Gallagher is speaking to Man United at the moment. There are talks going on at the moment with Man United and Conor Gallagher. It's not true, guys. Absolute rubbish. No talks are going on at the moment, guys. The only talks that happened were between Baleba's representatives and Manchester United in October. Right, and that was undercover as well, guys. So, and guys, that's an exclusive for you guys, which I mentioned a couple of months. But in regards to Conor Gallagher, he is a realistic proposition for January, and so is Ruben Neves. He's a realistic proposition for January. As I said earlier, you've got a couple of players there. Like you've got two players, possibly. Obviously, you've got Conor Gallagher, of course, and Gomez, and probably Ruben Neves to an extent. You've got those three players, and then you've got the players like Angelo Stiller, Carlos Baleba. Those two players that are going to be more difficult to get and more expensive. The other three are going to be loan deals. Those two I've just mentioned are going to be cash deals. And then obviously you got the Andersons, you got the Adam Whartons and those type of players. And then obviously you cut off and you got Lucien Agume, and you got Lamine Kamara and Kone and players like that of that ilk, you know. So we got tiers to this. We got tiers of possibilities in regards to transfers. So if I was a betting man, gun to head, what do I think Manchester United would do in January? I personally feel that Manchester United would go after a João Gomez, a Conor Gallagher, or a Ruben Neves, so to speak. Now, speaking of January, guys, speaking of January, you may know of a player named Christian Pulisic. Christian Pulisic, of course, used to play for Borussia Dortmund, and he used to play for Chelsea. If we all remember, didn't quite work out for him at Chelsea, but he's currently playing for AC Milan. Now, the thing with Christian Pulisic here is that Christian Pulisic, his contract expires, guys, in 2027. So he's only got a year left on his contract. AC Milan are looking to sell Christian Pulisic. He is a 27-year-old, can play right wing, left wing, and attacking midfielder. Now, here's the key. Manchester United may make an approach for Christian Pulisic in January on loan, okay, with an obligation. So, guys, hear me out. Man United will make that move on loan because of the African nations, which is going on at the moment, which will happen be happening on January the 1st. So that Pulisic can obviously play on that right wing, the left wing, the attacking midfield position, so he can fill in a void, guys. So Manchester United could possibly do a loan deal with a small cash fee for Christian Pulisic. Of course, Christian Pulisic is valued at around 60 million. So he's expensive. Man United won't do that deal, but Man United can strike a deal with AC Milan. They can strike a loan deal with AC Milan with an obligation, guys, so that we have cover whilst the African nations is going on. So Christian Pulisic is another very interesting one, and he is a realistic proposition for Manchester United. That ilk of player. And look, guys, I know Christian Pulisic is a very, very, very good player, right? But obviously he's gone to AC Milan. He's done okay at AC Milan. Didn't do too well at Chelsea. I don't think it was very fair on him, to be honest with you. But the USA international is a proposition for Manchester United on loan as well. So that is one to keep an eye out as well. Christian Pulisic, Manchester United on loan from AC Milan, plus a little cash deal with an obligation to buy it, guys. Absolutely. And now, in regards to transfers, Arsenal have a player called Jurriën Timber. Now, you may not be aware of this, but Jurriën Timber has a twin. He has a brother. His name's Quinten Timber. Now, Quinten Timber is a 24-year-old who currently plays for Feyenoord. Okay, he plays for Feyenoord. He can play as a central midfielder, a CDM, and an attacking midfielder. So he's very, very versatile, guys. Key with Quinten Timber. There's two things, okay? There's two things in regards to Quinten Timber. Quinten Timber is going to be a free transfer at the end of the season. In June, his contract expires, and Quinten Timber could possibly come to Manchester United on a free transfer. However, Man United are exploring a deal to capture Quinten Timber in January with a small fee. Now, this is enticing for Feyenoord. This will be enticing for Feyenoord because they're going to lose him on a free transfer at the end of the season. So they could feel that there is a possibility that Quinten Timber, they can make some money from Quinten Timber in January. So that is a possibility. Now, Quinten Timber is a Dutch international, 7 caps for the Netherlands, only 24 years old, can play in various positions. Like I said, CM, CDM, and attacking midfielder. Very, very versatile, very, very good player. Valued at 30 million. Right? Valued at 30 million right now. He's worth more, but because his contract is expiring, he's going to be a lot cheaper. So Man United could possibly revisit this in regards to a loan deal in January with a small cash fee. And obviously, Feyenoord are going to be attracted to that because they're going to lose him on a free transfer in June. So this is something that could happen going forward, guys. So there's lots of ins and outs. There's lots of stipulations. There's lots of things going on at Man United at the moment. And I would say hundreds of things are going on at Man United in regards to transfers. So we got Quinten Timber news coming out. We've got Christian Pulisic news coming out. And obviously we got Mainoo. Guys, the news about Mainoo with Napoli and with Brighton Hove Albion as well. This morning, we've already mentioned Christos Mouzakidis, of course, the Greek player, Tino Livramento. Again, we mentioned him. We mentioned Keita Mate yesterday. Nathaniel Brown from Frankfurt as well. We've mentioned quite a few players here, guys. And I know it's very hard to keep up, but there are a number of players. And the great thing about the players that we're being linked to, the great thing that I would look at, and I look at these players, is that the fact that these players that we're being linked to are all incredibly talented players. Absolutely. Big up Danny B. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed with you, of course. Big up RJ. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I came from Mo's show. Big up Mo. Big up everyone. Big up yourself. Channel now, Sal. Big up yourself. Guys, I will be on Mo and Hussam's channel at 4:30 p.m. UK time, guys. So don't forget to join me for that. I've already put a link, so we're going to go over to there. You're going to be transferred over to their channel about 4:30 p.m. So don't forget, I will be on there, guys, representing Manchester United later on tonight. So this afternoon in English time, of course, 4:30 p.m. Of course, guys. Nigeria were a disgrace yesterday. Absolute awful performance, Sal. Look, at the end of the day, when you think about Nigeria got all the talent in the world. You know, they have. I mean, they're not quite as talented as they were back in 1994 to 1998, but they're still a very talented side. But the one thing about African football, and the one thing about countries like Congo and that, they have talented players as well. Some of them might not be household names like the likes of Osman, but a lot of those players, not every single one of them, but a lot of those players, they're playing for their nation. They're playing for their country. I feel like Nigeria, they went into that game a little bit arrogant, a little bit full of themselves. And this is probably why that Nigeria, I've seen videos of we're in the World Cup. I've seen we're in the World Cup videos from Nigeria before the game even went. Now, I even know that even if we were playing Shrewsbury Town in the FA Cup final, I would not jump like that. I would not say we're FA Cup champions. Do you know what I mean? I would not do that. It shows arrogance. It shows a lack of respect. And when you show that disrespect, what happens? You generally get mud rubbed all over your face. And you're made to look like a fool. You have to be humble in this game. You have to be confident, but humble and cautiously optimistic. You can't be 100%, we're going to smash them. We're already there. We're already there. It's like me coming to you in the stream, guys. I'm going on the stream and I'm like, do you know what? We beaten Everton. There's no point turning up. We're going to beat Everton. Who cares about Everton? We're going to beat Everton. I'm not worried about Everton. I don't worry about them. Nah. You know what I mean? It's disrespectful. And you know that you don't do things like that in this game because you can end up with egg on your face. Absolutely. But it was a good game, fair play, and congratulations, Congo. Wesley, so Manchester United scouts must look out of international teams when they play World Cup qualifications. I hope so, mate. I hope so. I hope they're looking at the under-17s as well. That's one thing I'm hoping as well, guys. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Big up, Phil. RJ, Sal, they aren't as the same anymore. I think they need a good coach. No offense to Gattuso. In Italy, in regards to Italy, they're not the same anymore. No, they're not. They're definitely not the same as they used to be. However, I do see the point in what Gattuso is saying. I'm not being funny. I'm not talking about Africa. I'm talking about South American football here. All right. Now, I'm looking at South American football. Italy have lost 2 of their qualifications games. Okay, 2. How many games is that? 18 games, something like that. How many games have they played? Yeah, about 18 games, right? No. It's about 8. It's about 10 games. Anyway, they've only lost 2, right? And they have a good record in Europe. A team like Brazil have lost 6. Have lost 6 games, right? And they qualified comfortably. 6 teams out of 10 go to the World Cup. The 7th team goes to a playoff. I understand that. I do understand that, and I get his frustration. I do get his frustration in regards to that. However, there are some very atrocious teams in obviously in Europe, but they've made it very difficult for some teams to qualify now. You just need one good team in your group, and if you come second, you're going to a playoff. You know, Hungary would qualify for that World Cup in the South American group. You know, this is what we're talking about here. Italy would qualify easily from that South American group. Now, I believe what they should do, I don't know what you guys think about that, but they should unite and unify North America, South America, and do a fully America sort of World Cup qualification. It is hard for Middle Eastern teams to qualify because the Middle Eastern teams have to play Bolivia. You know, they have to play Bolivia and an African team as well. So they make it harder for the African. They make it harder for the Middle Eastern teams, but they make it easier for the South American teams. So this is something that I don't agree with. This is something that, you know what, they need to look at this and they need to fix it up, in my opinion. Yale, the best of all was that Nigeria manager said Congo had been using voodoo to win to OC, and the Lookman, so very strange thing to do for the manager. I mean, when you got excuses, you got excuses. I'm waiting for a Man United excuse saying that we got voodoo against us, and I actually think that Man United had an element of voodoo against us. Looking at some of the games that we played, of course, over the years, of course, but we're not gonna bring that into it. But at the end of the day, I don't want any juju on my ass, absolutely not. But one thing I'm going to say is that excuses are excuses. Do you know what I mean, guys? Absolutely. Brazil against Tunisia later. Pointless game. I don't know why. What is the point of that game? I don't know. Sal, should we monitor Parrot? Nah. It's one good game. Look, let me be honest with you, RJ. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. Right? I'm going to say something else. In regards to Parrot, he's in Holland at the moment. He's playing for AZ Alkmaar. Okay, so he's done well there. I think he scored 20 goals in 30 appearances or 40 appearances, something like that. So he's doing well in Holland. I want to totally discount it. I know that it's an unfashionable thing to say. He did play for Tottenham. He started off at Tottenham Hotspur, if you remember. And he went on various loans. And he didn't really do well. All right, so in regards to Parrot, depends how much he's worth. We got Benjamin Sesko. And we're happy with that, of course. Ghana admin trolled Nigeria on X last night. You know what comes around goes around, though, isn't it? What comes around goes around. I'm sure Nigeria, the Super Eagles, will get their chance to have revenge. And that should be their aim. They should have their chance to have their revenge. They will have their revenge. Some of my good friends come from Nigeria. You know Kanu, the player who used to play for Arsenal and Inter Milan. His cousin went to my wedding. You know what I mean? So I know all about Nigeria. I'm good friends with many Nigerians. I'm also good friends with Ghanaians as well. Two of my very good friends. One is Ghanaian, one is Nigerian. I would call them real friends, you know, at the end of the day. And they both went to my wedding. And to be honest with you, what I would say is this, right? Banter in football is the way it is. It's a modern day thing. And if you give it, you're going to have to take it. The one thing about Ghana, you know that when you give it and when you're smug, you know as well as I know, right? You know as well as I know that that Nigeria are going to be watching Ghana like a hawk, like an eagle. You know what I mean? They're going to be watching like an eagle, like a hawk for Ghana to slip up. And when they do slip up, you know that what's going to happen, of course, guys. You do, absolutely. And they're going to give it. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, of course, guys. Sal, I think we must get games. We play well with Cunha. They know each other. With Bruno playing at 10. And Cunha, look, what about did for Portugal in their number 10? Yeah, I've been saying that. The only thing Man United can do if they don't sign any players is bring Bruno into that number 10 position and move Mainoo into that midfield. That's the only thing they can do at the moment in regards to that. Of course, you know, international football is completely different. Let me just talk about this international football. Let me just talk about Armenia. Right. Armenia are the equivalent of a National League team in England. So let's not stat pad this stupid thing. At the end of the day, he did well against Armenia. But who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? I know some League One players who probably score a couple of goals against them. The overreaction, the revisionism. I would much rather him do that for Man United because the league is much more difficult. But what's still fresh in my mind is him giving away a ball against Tottenham. That's all I care about. I don't care about Armenia. This team is like, they would get relegated in most divisions in England. So I'm not too bothered about it. You know what I mean? So we have to look at that because one cross against Albania, everyone's talking about we should bring Marcus Rashford back. I mean, the revisionism, the forgetful nature, the ridiculous, flashbacks and things that people do, it's just pathetic. Have they got short memories? I don't know what's wrong with these people. I think there's too much player FC going on. I would, however, say that, having said that, I would play Bruno as a number 10 and I move Mainoo into that midfield when the African nation starts, of course. Lawrence, big up, Lawrence. How you doing? Premier League clubs don't tend to sell in January. We should loan, perhaps. Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult, Lawrence. You have to look at things from a perspective of Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest are fighting relegation. Nottingham Forest in Europe as well, of course. So why would they sell Anderson to Man United? Adam Wharton's already given a gentleman's agreement in regards to he's going to sign in the summer to another club, a potential club. Not in January. He's going to respect Crystal Palace, of course. So it is going to be very, very, very difficult to spy players. The only thing is, and this is where the Carlos Baleba thing comes into it, because Brighton want to sell Carlos Baleba. They want to sell Carlos Baleba. They want to move Carlos Baleba on because they know that Carlos Baleba has been affected. They have realized that Carlos Baleba has a mental issue in regards to his performances. He's letting this transfer thing play on his mind. It's up to Man United what they want to do. It's a big risk. It's a big risk. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Quintin Tarantino, absolutely big up RJ, big up 21 guys, Stephanie, thank you. Guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Absolutely big up everyone in the stream and everyone who smashed a like as well. Thank you so much. The pure arrogance for Nigeria. Yeah, there were like videos of them already made it. I couldn't believe it. I was scratching my head, right? I didn't get to watch the game, unfortunately, right? It was on too late for me, and I'm in the UAE. So I was scratching my head. I was seeing some of these videos, and I was seeing some of these arrogance, and I was like, man, Nigeria, man, what you doing? Don't do it. What's the point? Be humble. You're playing in Nigeria, win the game, and be as smug as you want to be smug. And that's what I would say about it. I felt that they went a little bit over the top with that arrogance, of course. Bafana all the way. Big up, my friend Wesley. Big up. Yeah, they qualified for the World Cup, at least. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, big up South Africa. A European versus South Africa. Nice, Sal. Will be so nice, Sal. I think Europeans have got enough difficult teams as it is. I think the European teams, it's difficult enough as it is. What they need to do is move the South American teams into North America and get Canada and bet USA and all these teams to play in one group, because at the end of the day, why do USA and Canada basically get a bye into the World Cup every single time? So what they need to do, look for example, Hungary. Hungary are a very good side. They're not going to be at the World Cup. You look at the World Cup groups, right? You look at the World Cup groups, and I'm going to name them like that for the European World Cup groups, okay? I'm going to name, World Cup, okay? So let's have a look at these groups. Right. So you're going to have Northern Ireland are going to be missing out, okay? Right? Right. Northern Ireland, Slovakia in a playoff. You're going to have Slovenia missing out, right? Kosovo in a playoff. Greece missing out. Scotland in a playoff. You've got Iceland and Ukraine are going to be missing out. Well, Ukraine are going to be in a playoff. You've got Turkey in a playoff. Remember, these teams are going to get knocked out. All right? You've got Turkey in a playoff. You've got Hungary knocked out. Republic of Ireland in a playoff. You're going to have Finland, who are pretty good, knocked out, right? And Poland are going to be in a playoff, right? Romania knocked out. Bosnia in a playoff. And then you're going to have Italy in a playoff. Guys, Israel knocked out. And then you've got Wales, who've been knocked out. Are going to be knocked out, most likely, okay? And then you got Serbia are going to be knocked out. And then you got, obviously, other teams there. So there's lots of teams there in Europe, man. And they're quite on par as well. Do you know what I mean? They're quite on par as well, you have to say. Good evening, Sal. I hope we sign a midfielder on loan in January. I really do hope so as well, mate. I really do hope so. This is what we've been talking about for the last few days and weeks and months, of course. It does seem that way, isn't it, guys? We do need to purchase a midfielder in January. Of course we do, guys. Absolutely. And I hope we do. I really hope we do, of course. Helge, what's going on, you legend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, bruv. Guys, I hope we are well, buddy. I'm good, man. If we were the manager and had to choose between João Gomez or Gallagher in January, I'll probably say João Gomez, Helge, just because he's got more strings to his bow, but I think Gallagher is underrated. I really do. I think a lot of people are underrating him, because he's not fashionable. Do you know what I mean? Like a João Gomez is a little bit more fashionable and stuff like that, isn't it, Helge, Dan, what's going on, my bro? Hope you're doing well. I've not watched one international mate from the break. I'm just waiting for the Premier League. Join the club, Dan. Dan, join the club. Join the club. I've been like that as well, my friend. Absolutely. Sal, did you see Armenia? Sal, you did Armenia dirty, mate. There's nothing to do dirty about Armenia. They did themselves dirty. For goodness sake, I would get a bunch of 11 players right now over here and get 11 players together, and they wouldn't lose 9 against Portugal. Unbelievable. That is what we talk about international football. I don't care about this international football, but these teams are weak. The only time I care about international football, right? The only time I care about stat padding, right, is in the World Cup, right? Is in the World Cup, is in the European Championship, because I know that is you're going to be playing against more or less the least team you're going to be playing against is a average team, a good stroke average team, right? You're going to be playing a decent opposition. So the only time I care about it is when the World Cup starts. Do you know what I mean? But I'm tired of this World Cup. I'm tired of the World Cup having Honduras, in the World Cup, and and these kind of teams that you can just push over, shove over, and easily. You know what I mean? I'm not being funny, guys. I mean, everyone deserves an opportunity, but you need to look at the quality control as well. No offense. You need to look at the quality control as well. Some of these teams, including the European teams, some of them are just not good enough. Slovakia, Slovenia, these teams like Ukraine, and stuff like that. They're not very sharp. You want to have the best teams in at all times. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Gary Worth about that, my friend. He's in Saudi Arabia. Hey, what's going on, Kerwin? Hope you're doing well. PE here. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. My thought is we signed Baleba and this performance miraculously shoots up again. It's not going to happen, mate. Absolutely not. It's big risk. Everyone smash the like buttons. Takes 2 minutes. Thank you so much, Harold. You absolute legend. Thank you, my friend. Europe is getting far fewer effort over by the current qualifier format. I agree, Kerwin. I want Italy to qualify for the World Cup. Italy are better than the majority of the South American qualifiers. They're better than a lot of teams that are going to qualify. I know that everyone needs an opportunity, 48 teams, but that doesn't mean that you reduce the quality and the heritage of the competition. I don't want to see Canada and USA. I'll be honest. I'm being honest. I'm being real. Look, it's too easy for them to qualify. It's too easy for them to qualify. It's too easy for Australia to qualify. Too easy. No offense to the Socceroos, but it is too easy for them to qualify. I'll be honest with you. It's too easy for South Korea and Japan to qualify. So what they got to do, they got to look at a format here because, you're looking at the South American groups and you're thinking about 10 teams. 6 teams go up automatically. Brazil have lost 6 games in that 10 team group, right? 6 games. My goodness me. And then the 7th team go to a playoff to play a Middle Eastern team to make it double hard for the Middle Eastern teams to qualify. So what they're doing, they're concentrating on the American teams, the South American teams, the North American teams, the CONCACAF teams. They're just concentrating on those teams only. We're already going to have Mexico, USA, and Canada qualifying automatically because they are hosting the World Cup. But I don't mind. I really don't. But one thing I want to see fairness. Look, I don't want to talk about African football because it's very hard to qualify from Africa. And again, the African teams have to go to a playoff, right? And they have to go to the Middle East. So basically, South America, Middle East, and African and Australasia have to all go down and bed themselves into the Middle East and play Middle Eastern teams. And you see how you do it. Yeah, forget that side of the world. We're not too bothered about that side of the world. You guys do your thing. We're going to put more South American teams because you know what? We love Colombia. We love Brazil. We love Argentina. We love that because they're our favorites and stuff, and this is the thing. How can you progress if it's not fair, if it's not done properly? You know what I mean? I would say. And that is to do with Africa as well, the Middle East as well, of course. So I'm speaking on a point of view of fairness. Yes, there are a lot of average teams in Europe, but one team qualified from a European group of 6. One team. Each one of those teams in that group have players who play in the major leagues in Europe. France, Italy, Spain, England. So it's going to be very, very, very difficult, for them to qualify. Wesley, South Africa improved a lot. Proud of our boys. Congratulations, Wesley. Congratulations. I wish you all the best, my friend. Absolutely. Big up for Fana, my friend. Absolutely. Europe should have gotten more teams when they increased the teams at World Cup. I agree with Kerwin here. I do believe that. I think the European teams, I don't want to see another World Cup without Italy. You remember, guys, do you remember in 1994? You remember the 94 World Cup in the USA? Who was missing in that World Cup? Who was missing in that World Cup? France and England were missing in that World Cup. Who did we have in the World Cup? Look at the teams in the World Cup that we had. You look at the toot that we had in that World Cup. And then you have big teams like France and England. Yeah, look. At the end of the day, you have to qualify. You have to do what you have to do. But it's incredibly difficult, to qualify. It was between Holland and England to qualify. That's difficult, isn't it? That's like being between Brazil and Argentina or Uruguay and Argentina or something like that. That's like that. One of those teams is going to miss out. Now, guys, I'm talking on a level that what is fair. I'm just talking about what is fair. What is fair going forward for everyone, right? What's fair going forward for everyone? Because at the end of the day, you might as well just make it a 60 team World Cup then. You know what I mean? If you're just going to throw in these teams and give them a chance, what's the point? What's the point? I'll be fair. I will be fair, right? I'm looking at it and I'm looking at CONCACAF. You know, you're looking at CONCACAF, Jamaica against Trinidad, Trinidad against Jamaica, Guatemala, Honduras, you know, Mexico. The only hard team is Mexico. And, you know, at the end of the day, we need to make it a lot more. They just need to unify the Americans and the CONCACAFs, in my opinion, guys. But that's the way it is. Finland occurring, European team, my friend. Wesley, Sal, my friend at work is a Germany supporter. I told him, imagine Slovenia beat them tonight and go to the playoffs and lose in the playoffs. It will be a disaster. I actually think I really want Ireland to do well, but I think the celebrations for Ireland were a little bit over the top because they have to play a couple of games playoff, guys. They have to. And we all know if they play Italy, I'm Italian. And that my wife, everything, half my family. So at the end of the day, I will be supporting them. Guys, I know. I'm going to fall out with a lot of people, guys, but I will be doing the watch along. That's for certain. Absolutely. RJ Sal, what's that? PS5 is overpriced. It's ridiculous. I haven't bought a console for many, many years. You're looking at a long time. Big up, Bobby. What's going on, my friend? Afternoon. So I hope you're well. Very good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, of course. Absolutely. Of course. I agree, Helge. Big up. Very close between them. I would actually take Gallagher, but just. Yeah. I'm surprised you said that, to be honest, Joe. Well said, well played, mate. I think he's massively overrated, like you say. Underrated, like you say. I would actually like him. He's an honest player and got amazing crosses. People are underrating Conor Gallagher. Of course, they're underrating Conor Gallagher because he's not a fashionable signing. He's not a big name. And you know what? You wouldn't see Gallagher on someone's shirt, would you, Helge? And I think that's what it is, you know. People are very, very shiny new toy syndrome. Oh, he played for Chelsea. Oh, he played for Atletico Madrid. He's not really that good. He's not that good. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? When he's got Premier League experience, I think he's underrated. He's in England international. He's been in England international. I think he'd be actually quite good at Man United. I really do. As a stopgap, and probably he might even do well, and we might end up signing him. And then we have to buy just one more midfielder in the summer, which will obviously help Man United going forward, of course. Absolutely. Ephraim. Sal, Roy Keane spotting about Adam Wharton yesterday. We need midfielders who are press assistant. I agree. Adam Wharton is world class. If we can't get a big signing in January, I hope we get Gallagher in January and then the big CM in the summer. I hope so as well, bro. Keep Gallagher as a squad player. That's my realistic dream scenario. I agree as well, Helge. I agree with that. The absolutely brilliant scenario, my guy. Absolute great comments, my friend, my brother, of course, Helge from another mother. My brother from another mother, of course, Helge. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. And congratulations to Norway. I'm telling you something about this Norwegian team, guys. Let me tell you something about this Norwegian team. This Norwegian team is the best Norwegian team I've seen in my lifetime. And that's what I'll say. And I'm talking real, guys. I've seen a Norwegian team with Henning Berg, with Ronny Johnsen, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've seen that, guys. I've seen it. You know what I mean? At the end, Erik Thorstvedt, all these players, you know what I mean? Big up. Take one slot away from South America and North America. Exactly, Cohen. Exactly. But it's not just about Europe. It's about the Middle East. It's about these countries as well. Why do South America get preferable treatment? Why do they get preferable treatment? I don't know why. Absolutely. Here in Cape Town, R13000, mate. Big up, my guy. Hello, Helen. What's going on whilst driving? Take it easy. 30 likes, Stephanie. Thank you so much, guys. The 30 likes are very much appreciated. Let's get to 50 likes. Guys, at the end of the show, I'm going to be transferring you over to Hussam and Mo's channel. I will be on their channel at 4:30 p.m. UK time. 4:30 p.m. UK time. So don't forget to join me on that. I will be representing Man United with chest. With chest, of course. You know me. I will be representing Man United with chest. So don't forget to join me on that one, of course, guys. Absolutely. Colombia and Paraguay. And you can please mention Andrea Pirlo since you forgot this one. I don't forget. It's just that Italy have got so many great players. You know, I didn't mention a lot of players. Francesco Totti. I didn't mention Francesco Totti. He was an absolute baller, an absolute world-class player, of course. There's many players that I did not mention, at the end of the day. There's many guys. We've had World Cup winners at Italy, we've had the 1982 World Cup. Let's not forget about that. You know what I mean? There are many who used to play for Italy. Pirlo was brilliant, but so are many others. I can't sit here and mention every single Italian player. Helen, what do you think this is? I'm going to sit here and talk about all the great Italian players of the past. You know what I mean? Am I going to be here all day? Shall I go to the 60s and the 70s? Shall I go to the 80s when they won the World Cup as well? Keep going. I can do that if you want, but I'll be here for too long. People get bored. Kerwin, Africa deserves its 8 teams, perhaps 9. The country's football is becoming strong. Europe and Africa are each other's greatest allies in this situation. I feel like South America get the preferable treatment, and I don't think that's fair. And I'm talking about the whole world, right? Australasia, that side, right? Japan and that get preferable treatment. America get preferable treatment. America, South America, North America get preferable treatment, and I think that's unfair. You know, absolutely. I was born in 1994. I can't remember. I'm just a little baby. Like I was there, like 1998. I actually went to the 1998 World Cup held England against Tunisia, and that Norwegian team was a difficult team to beat. A very good Norwegian team that was. Of course, they had the nucleus of Man United in there, Henning Berg and Ronny Johnsen and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So they had a great team then. I actually think that this team right now is better. I'm thinking about that. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this team as an 11 are just, in my opinion, this Norwegian team are better than that team, in my opinion. Ephraim, Sal, what kind of GKS we need, goalkeepers we need on the bench next year, Spears? I would like Vitek on loan. I would like Vitek to come back and sit on the bench, but Vitek obviously wants first team football, so it's going to be incredibly difficult to keep Vitek. Very happy with the way Vitek is playing. I think he's on loan at Bristol City at the moment. Very happy with the way his development. He's gone really good. It'd be great to have Senny Lamens and Vitek. Of course it would. It'd be great to have them both in the squad, of course. Absolutely. The player thing is a joke, sir. It is a joke. I mean, how can Australia play a team in the Middle East? Right? It used to be this, guys. Let me tell you how it used to be. Australia used to have to play a South American team. Australia used to have to play teams like Uruguay. You know what I mean? Back in the day, if you remember. So Australia used to play teams like Uruguay. Now Australia have to play a Middle Eastern team. Nice, easy game against Iraq. You know, so how's that fair? Their qualifying stage. Who they playing in their qualifying stage? Haiti, Fiji, New Zealand. Come on, man. It's just ridiculous. It's just, it's the levels here, man. There's levels to this game. If they want to make it competitive, what they need to do, they need to unite, sections of the world. That side of the world, okay? Sections of the world. That side of the world, that side of the world, that side of the world. You're never going to get Afghanistan, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh qualifying for the World Cup. It's just not going to happen, is it? Because they thought, F that. We don't need that area there. That's fine. No. They're right. They can stick to cricket and all that. That's what they're doing at the moment. This is what I mean. This is what annoys me about FIFA, Look at Kante, 34. He still plays for France. The dream is never over. Cough, cough, Neymar. Neymar is always overrated, mate. I don't know all this big fuss about Neymar, to be honest with you. Guys, absolutely. The cool thing about Gallagher is that I feel that he is a no risk. Obviously, I don't know the future, but I feel there is a zero chance. Of course, more. I won't say zero chance, but I think there's more of an opportunity for him to succeed at Man United than obviously others, of course, because obviously he's Premier League proven. Wesley, Portugal gonna win the World Cup. I think England are gonna win it. I've got a feeling. Someone told me a long time ago. All right, England will win the World Cup. And he always gets it right. And he goes to me, England with the World Cup, and it'll be a German manager. And he said this before Tuchel. He goes, England with the World Cup with German manager. And I said, what? He goes, yeah. Who's the German manager? Tuchel. I think England will win it. I think England collectively are stronger. Don't ignore the Armenia game. Armenia. People getting happy because of Armenia. Have you forgotten they lost to Ireland? Portugal. They lost to Ireland, who England beat only a couple of months ago, 5-0. 3-0 away, 5-0 at home. Easy peasy, job done. You know what I mean? They lost 2-0. And no respect to my Irish brothers and sisters. I'm not, but I'm talking about they lost 2-0 to Ireland. They're not. They beat Armenia. Wow. And then everyone's getting giddy about, oh my goodness me, look at Bruno, he's cooking. Look at this, he's cooking this. I think people are just going to overhype them again. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And also, one thing I want to say about Portugal. People need to stop disrespecting Cristiano Ronaldo. Because without Cristiano Ronaldo, right, they would have no trophies. So they just need to pipe down a little bit. I know he's old now. It's easy to throw him under the bus, right? It's easy to throw CR7 under the bus. But let's not forget about what he's done for his nation here, right? Because they would have no trophies, absolutely. Dan, so I think we are forgetting we got a very good midfielder in Collier out on loan. I think he could do the job. I don't think he's good enough, Dan. I don't think he's good enough. He's also injury prone. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's going to make the grade. Not really set the house alight on loan either, unfortunately. Dollar getting weaker is good for the world, Sal. Big up. Sal, if you were a betting man, how do you think Norway can go in the World Cup? It depends who they play. You know what I would say, Helge, about the World Cup? Because the World Cup, this is why I don't agree with the theory that Messi is the GOAT because he won the World Cup, because the World Cup is about luck. And it does depend on the draw, number one. It does depend on decisions on the day as well. It's very hard to win these cup tournaments, right? It's very hard to win them. If Norway qualify from the groups, right, it depends what group you got as well, innit? You're not going to be seeded maybe, and then you know what, you might play difficult teams. If you had Argentina and let's say France in your group, it's hard, innit? You know, so that's what it is, as opposed to having Slovenia and Finland in your group or something like. Do you know what I mean? It can happen like that. It does happen like that, you know. And you play, for example, you go and you play Iran in the quarterfinal, or you play Turkey in the semi-final, and things like that. Like, I'll give you an example, right? England back in 2002 played Brazil in the last 16. Obviously, England lost because of David Seaman, the most overrated keeper in the history of English football. And basically, England would have played Turkey in the semi-final and played Germany in the final, which they already beat 5-1 a couple of months earlier. So it does depend on the fixtures. For example, if Norway play right now, let's have a look. France, it's going to be very difficult for Norway, isn't it? If they go to the quarterfinal, let me just say this, Helge. I think if Norway get to the quarterfinal, I think they've done very well. They've done very well, and I think they should be proud. You know. Then you never know when you're in the quarterfinal. You never know what's going to happen in the quarterfinal. Football is funny, man. You might win on penalties. You might win. You get to the semi-final and blah, blah, blah. You know, at the end of the day. I just feel like at the moment, there's teams like England, Spain, France, Portugal, who are strong collectively, you know, and experience. I think experience does play a role. And, you know, I think that is a big problem, you know, in regards to that. But you never know. And I'll be rooting for you, Helge. I'll be rooting for you in the World Cup. I'll be rooting for England and Norway in the World Cup. Don't worry about that. England, Norway, and Italy, if Italy get there. But I'll be rooting for you, my friend. Absolutely. Prince. Manchester United wants Baleba because of football abilities and impact on our team. His current form, the combination of Baleba and Anderson is mobile at another level. Prince, that's just being immature, because at the end of the day, no, because he's not performing well. His capabilities doesn't mean anything. Evan Ferguson was a very talented player at Brighton. Evan Ferguson was brilliant, was the new Wayne Rooney. You know, we don't just sign players because, they got ability. Show it. Show your ability, mate. It's not about, he's got ability. We want him in principle. We don't want him. We're going to wait. We're going to wait until January. So Man United, there's better midfielders out there right now in Europe. Angelo Stiller is better than Baleba. Anderson is better than Baleba. Wharton is better than Baleba. They're all better than Baleba, right? So he's got to pick up his performances. No, Man United are not, and they shouldn't sign Baleba if he carries on with these poor performances. It's a mental thing. That's not good for Manchester United. If you understand this football club, Man United don't sign these weak mentality players. I don't care. I like Baleba, but you know what? If he doesn't pick up his performances, I don't want to spend the money on him. I want us to get someone else. And I'll be real here. I don't. The only reason Man United will get Baleba, because it will be easy to get him. Because he's desperate to come to Man United, you know? But it's not necessarily going to be a game changer for Man United. I don't think so. And I'm saying that this purely on the basis of Manchester United. It's all about Manchester United for me, how Man United move forward. Prince, you can love the player all you want. You can cover for him. There's excuses up until the roof. He's not performing because of this. He's not performing because he wants to put the price down. He's just not performing well. Right? He's just not performing well. And is that really the mentality you want at Man United? Man United want him, but they also want other players there. They also want a number of other midfielders there as well. There's plenty of midfielders that Man United want. Baleba's not the only one. Baleba's the easiest to get. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. That's why, it's attractive. Big up, William. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my guy. Hope you're doing blessed, of course. Guys, absolutely. Lemans is evident data analysis. No, it's not. I check. I tech data analysis doesn't mean anything, mate. I test saw that Lemans was a good player. I knew that Lemans was a good player before everyone else was mentioning him. I knew he was a good player. I test can see that. People don't need stats and analysis and rubbish like that. Sal, I know this is why we're not getting the original talent these days. And I could give you an example. After Kane, who's the next England striker? There you go. Sal, I knew you were going to say England choke in the semi-finals. Not this time, mate. Not this time. And one thing I would say, I would love to play South Africa. That would be an easy round. That would be an easy round. Goodness me. Who you got playing for you? Kevin Pilkington. Who you got playing? Was it Peterson? Have you still got, who's the man? Was it Mark Fish? Oh, my goodness me. I'm only joking. They lost to Ireland 2-0 because Bruno didn't play. Yeah, right, mate. Of course they did. Yeah, they lost to 2-0. England had a reserve team against Ireland, 5-0. Portugal is better without Cristiano Ronaldo. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's just being thing. They're not. Without Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal would still be playing the likes of Greece and that in the bloody friendlies and that, not in the World Cup. Absolutely not. Let's not forget about what Cristiano Ronaldo's done. None of that on here, Prince. You're having a stinker today, mate. Sal, let's not take the piss here. Sorry, I wanted to let's not take the piss. Big up. Push a 40 light. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Big up yourself. Sal, England have a great chance. Everyone has a great chance. Everyone. Whilst nothing is happening, my dream, Helge, is to play in a group with USA and play the opening night. First game, we smashed them 6-0. USA are good, though. They're not that bad. We'll be hammered in the World Cup. Yes, they have popped and stuff, but they are shit. Big up. Helge, I'll be rooting for you, Helge. You know me. I'll be rooting for you. David Seaman, the sailor. Big up, my friend. Big up, everyone. Guys. Thank you, everyone. Guys, I will be going live on, I will be going live from on Mo and Husam's channel in a bit. 4:30 UK time, guys. I will be going live. Don't forget to join me on there, guys. It's a great crack. It's a great conversation, guys. Absolutely. It's a great conversation. So I would say this, guys. Join me on there. Back your boy. That's what you do. And guys, you'll get the link to that after the show is ended, guys. But thank you, everyone who's joined me today. Big up the legends in the house. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Very, very good to see you here. I really appreciate every single one of you. No matter if we disagree or agree, I appreciate all of you. Anyway, until next time, guys. See you then. I will be back tomorrow as well for Breaking Dawn and also Chatterbox. But guys, don't forget to smash the like on the way out. And also don't forget to subscribe and put your notifications on. Mo and Husam's channel coming up in about half an hour, guys. So don't forget to join me for that, guys. Take it easy. Have a great day, great evening, great night, great morning. Wherever you are in the world, I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. Take it easy. See you soon. Peace.